Hi, I'm Greg Martin with Innovative Pro Design. We have discussed many topics relating to the IPD Plenums in our ongoing video series. The previous subjects covered include the superior design of the IPD Plenums, benefits of the larger throttle bodies, and principles of intake airflow. But today we're going to explore one of the most common questions and misconceptions related to the IPD Plenum. Do the IPD Plenums experience heat soak? Well, let's find out. Let's start by defining heat soak and explaining how it affects performance. As you drive a car, the air enters the engine, is mixed with fuel, and ignited inside the combustion chamber. The result is not only power that drives the wheels, but also waste heat from the engine, exhaust, and radiators that goes into the engine bay. Of course, we want our intake air to be as cold as possible as it enters the intake system in order to extract the greatest power potential possible. We also want to avoid any preheating of the intake system from this power-robbing waste heat. Heat soak is a condition where waste heat preheats the intake tract once the car is at a steady state while driving. The goal is to minimize the effects of heat soak on an engine to maximize engine potential and improve engine performance. As most of us know by now, the factory Porsche air distributor is constructed of plastic, while the IPD Plenums are constructed of aluminum. Contrary to some opinions, the aluminum plenums do not experience performance-reducing heat soak under driving or even racing conditions. It's true that aluminum has a higher thermal conductivity than plastic. In fact, aluminum is 650 times more thermally conductive than plastic and has a specific heat capacity that is 550 times higher than plastic. This means the aluminum plenum actually spreads the energy it's exposed to 656 times faster than the plastic and can store more than 550 times the amount of energy per unit mass. Bottom line, aluminum can absorb more heat than plastic, but it also takes considerably more energy to heat because it can dissipate the energy considerably faster than plastic, allowing the IPD plenum to remain cooler from outside ambient air under driving conditions, ultimately improving engine performance over the plastic. Of course, the plenum will absorb heat after the engine is shut off, but I don't think any of us care about intake air temps while our cars are parked. Now let's go out to the shop to perform a very inexact test with some very rudimentary tools on the dyno with our subject 981 GT4. Today we're using the pyrometer to measure the surface temps of the factory plastic manifold versus the IPD aluminum plenum. And yes, we know very well that installing thermocouplers on the inside of the intake tract would provide more accurate data and specific values related to the intake airflow temps. But we'll have to save that project for another day. In the meantime, we'll just have to validate if there are any quantifiable improvements with the aluminum over the plastic.
All right, hit it. Now we're going to try this with the IPD aluminum plenum. Let her go.
So our inexact pyrometer test reveals that the surface temps of the factory plastic intake rose to 110 degrees at redline, while the IPD aluminum plenum only reached 103 degrees, giving the win to the IPD plenum for this rudimentary test. Porsche exclusively utilized aluminum intake manifolds until the introduction of the 964. Although many 964s and all 993 Vario Ram engines all feature aluminum manifolds. Even the 924, the 944, 968 all have aluminum manifolds as well. Plastic injection manifolds were finally introduced in the early 90s to help reduce rising manufacturing costs, not improve performance. Porsche continues to install aluminum manifolds on their flagship performance models, such as the GT2s and the GT3s. Porsche's motorsport successes continue with victories and championships with GT3 Cup cars and Cup Rs, which all feature aluminum intake manifolds. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today. Stay tuned for more IPD videos coming your way soon. In the meantime, you can watch more videos and learn more about IPD products by visiting our website at IPDplenums.com.